Hey guys, Tightrope here, bringing you a 2v2 today. We are on Minsk Pocket. Playing today, spawning in the south, we have Lines playing as US Forces, who has Infantry, heavy cavalry. Oh, looking into infantry there. Tearing off him is Lobo, playing as British Forces with Royal Engineers. From the north, we have Brother as OKW, immediately going for breakthrough. And Stug88mm with Ostheer, Storm, German Mechanized, and Fortified Armor. In terms of rankings here, random team on the Allied side. LOBO around 70. Lines around 90.
Got a rifle squad waiting for orders.
Axis are an arranged team, and as an arranged team, they're ranked 300, but individually, Stug is 30, mid-30s, and Brother is 180.
Lousy patch of dirt is ours.
Okay, a bit of wiring, a few sandbags. Good position there for Lobo on the Muni's point. Good deny on the cover there. Takes a while to put down that reinforced wire, but Brother found the time. Fires though, a little isolated. Ducks back behind the tree line before he gets suppressed. Worked out very well there for Lobo. So he's going to try and ambush around this corner with the Royal Engineers. Trying to get in close. Leave the Muni point inch outwards. Riflemen going to come in from the other side here, perhaps. They double ran to the heavy cover over here. They could win this fight. Sternpo's jumping onto the cutoff. Usually is very weak in these early engagements. There he goes now. Fusilier very isolated, has to retreat. Sternpo's now themselves isolated, could get 2-on-1 by these riflemen. And here we go, big move from Lobo. Machine gun is packed up at this stage, going to try set down. Does have the smoke grenade on the engineers, could try toss that out. No. Just from small arms damage, ends up forcing the retreat. 2 engineers, 2 sections. These Sternpires do get forced away, ultimately. Oh, and the machine gun goes down. I thought that was getting away for sure. Wow. Yes, those Royal Engineers just got the damage done. And now an MG42 in the hands of Lobo. That's horrible for Stug. What a bad start. I thought that was getting away 100%. Somewhat forwards battle group. Right on the edge of the base. So I'm not really a big fan of that position. We'll see how it works out. It's kind of like, you know, far enough out that you can't make use of healing when you retreat back to base. You constantly have to run out to heal, which can be quite annoying if you want to push down to this side of the map as that player. It's also, you know, outside of your base, so it could get hit by bombing strikes. Which, you know, there will be some time on target. Play more support. All for, you know, maybe slightly better reinforce. We already got the Ostheer player with their forward base here for reinforce anyway. Not a fan of that. Engineers doing some great work in close. I think the Greenies might be able to win this. It kind of depends on how many models drop on the way in here. Just the one. And they hit that one now as well. I think they probably could have won that, but decided to cut out and run. Fair enough. Oh wow, we've got a 250 from Stug. You don't see these too often. We've got the flamer inside. Usually, you know, it's pretty strong against Brits, but in this case, you've got the double recovery sappers. So more snares than usual for Lobo at this stage of the game. Usually I'd say you want this maybe about 30 seconds faster than this as well. You know, with the 250, it's such a timing reliant vehicle. Here we go, coming in on the captain, forcing the retreat. We have a fighting position down there. Touch unusual.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Oh, well, he hasn't ticked Mechanized yet, so no anti-tank grenades. This is a little sloppy here from Lines. Does have an anti-tank gun though. Here it is. Connects once. 250. Can it make it around the corner? It does. Looking for the kill on the rifleman. He's going to chase in for it. Oh no, the 50 cal did enough damage just from small arms. Doesn't get the wipe on the rifle and loses the 250. Ouch. That's a bit of a shocker for the Axis between those two losses. Well, they're both for Stug as well, both the losses.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
The Pies are going to make it home though. Axis losing control of their fuel. We've got some sandbags on the fuel point now as well, with the machine gun backing this up. It'll be very tough for the Axis to recover this. Wow, why did he retreat? With the stern bar suppressed, they're doing almost no damage. Could have easily got the decap on that. Oh, this is trouble though. Double rifle nades coming in.
Heavy machine gun crew killed.
Good work there from Stug. Should be able to recover that, I think. A lot of Axis troops here. He's going to jump on the gun. Flamethrower a little bit far back for the SMGs to be effective. Get out of there.
We're losing a capture point.
There's the section. Got some G43s now coming through for brother. Got the officer as well. This is kind of an old school style. Used to have a big old Fusilier bobs with the officer back when he just gave like a buff. Permanent AoE buff to all the units nearby. That was back when the officer model died. Everything near him would retreat. Good old days. Look at the old days. But yeah, this composition does allow for a lot of sight. The officer has huge vision, so do the G43s. And making use of that sight to knock out this fighting position. With the Raketin, getting some mines up as well. Inching forwards with that MG42 now. Bit of an anti-air half-track, but look at how late this is. 8.5 minutes in. Extremely late. I mean, it still could be reasonably effective, but both the Axis players do already have anti-tank guns. So you did have the option of just skipping the light vehicle here, making that manpower investment for the Axis relatively useless. Hasn't equipped M1919s yet on any of these riflemen either. There's at 4 command points, so I imagine at least one or two of these squads would have had an opportunity. Double flamers, so it doesn't have smoke grenades anymore available. You've upgraded that flamer. There's smoke coming in though, with the officer, I think that was. Grenade into the retreat. Moderate connection. But mass retreats, a lot of territory available for the Allies now. Officer. Gonna come in to assist in the centre a bit more. Officer early retreat though with the stern pies turning around the corner. Looks like the anti-air half-track took a shot, maybe from the Raketin, forced away already.
Boys, you ready to roll out?
Somewhat forwards ambulance position. Got some M1919s coming through now though, and that's a good answer to the G43s. You can bully them long range. No bar ever upgraded on the captain, which is a little strange. That's pretty much always a good idea. There's plenty of munitions for it as well. So a few inefficiencies on the way that Lions is playing this game so far. A few build order things could be tightened up. Comes the OKW blob. Got to be careful. Got the Rakitten backing that up as well. A half track gonna need repairs again. This is where things can start to get a little troublesome as the British player if you're using these all-engineer recovery squads. Don't get any combat boosts at Vet 2, and once you start fighting against Vet 2 LMG Grenadiers, those engineers start dropping like flies. Very hard to maintain field presence. Dodge back into that grenade. Flamer v Flamer up here. I'm a little bit surprised this squad's not in heavy cover, actually. Got a couple, actually a Telemite up there, that's interesting. Got another rifleman being built by Lions.
Rifle squad ready for action.
There's quite a lot of manpower. Did decide to go for a pack howitzer. Didn't go for the mortar half track, which is available in this commander. Pack howitzer I think is reasonable on this map. You kind of park it around the center. It's pretty strong. Don't have to move around too much. Don't really need the extra mobility of the mortar half track. And given that he did go for the anti-air half track, maybe wants to save a bit of fuel. Might need to push it up a little bit further than this though. Oh, so it's decent. Auto fire covering the whole of the center VP. Reach with the barrage back there. There's a rifleman. Seems like they're coming out onto the field, you know, at low health. Because the Ambo's not back at base. And that's a decent idea, actually, a smoke grenade. Into half track. Doesn't want to push through that threat of the snare. Uncertain of the Rakitten position. There's actually a second Rakitten now for Brother. So he does have to be concerned. He's right to be concerned. And there we go, full retreat. Couple of low health sections up there. Does not have any medics. Is he making use of his teammates' ambo? Maybe that's what's going on. The Cromwell on the field. Pretty good timing as well. 13.5 minutes. Quite sharp for Lobo. Oh, here come the Rakittens. And there goes the anti-air half track. Quite hard to keep it alive. Oh, what's he doing with this captain? Just retreat it, man. Hard to keep it alive. Oh no, forgotten about this squad on this far side. Officer used target them. Does not persist into retreat. That debuff. Still, you know, still got the job done in the end. A little bit sloppy from Lions. Going to rebuild that rifle. I feel like generally, you know, M1919s are quite forgiving though for rebuilding riflemen. You do have to do it. Just move them forwards. They don't get in too much trouble. I feel like it's easier than the bars, and this is trouble actually. AT gun. Oh, gets decrewed there by the Allied infantry. Cromwell gets out alive. Double engineers are forwards at this stage though, so not going to be available to repair. Can use the vehicle crew repairs perhaps. 40 munis at the moment. And wow, he's going to kill off that pack. I didn't realize it, but Stug actually picked up a second anti-tank gun. Going to try to stop this one from falling into Allied hands. But this one's now under pressure. Those M1919s ripping in. The MG42 was focused on the officer, not on these approaching riflemen. on me there to break suppression, and ultimately MG getting forced away. I didn't even notice Lobo's machine gun getting to Vet 2 there. Steady performer. And a good bit of teamwork here. I believe this was the random team as well, the Allies. Red Echelon assisting his teammate. So Lines now has a few options. Jackson doesn't quite have the command points for the priest, if that's what he was planning. And I don't think I'd recommend it either. Oof! I was trying to put down the mechanized truck. Has to cancel it with the arrival of the pyrotechnic section. Doing small arms damage, some base howitzer fire. Don't want to risk losing that for nothing. Early cancel's great though. Get most of your resources back. There we go. Big old OKW blob rolling through the center. Looks like the 6-pounder will get away safely as well, so well done by the Allies, extracting themselves. P4 rolling up here. A lot of riflemen through center. Here comes the Jackson. A little bit slow starting production on this though. About a minute after you had the resources for it. Could be assisting in this fight potentially. No sweeper, so this Telemine could be devastating. The Cromwell's right there. Almost actually triggered it with that scatter shot. Backing away now. Pack rolling up. 6-pounders back here as well. Teller actually does get triggered by that Panzer IV shot. Is this going to be the end of the Cromwell? No. And the officer goes down there to the OKW blob. Lobo maybe focusing on the Cromwell control. Smoke out and then retreat. Here comes the Jackson. Push the ambo forwards again. Okay, Jackson. The infantry sniper there, eh? Actually got a kill. P4 out back repairing as well. Forward retreat point this far from your base. Not worth it. Not worth the resources. Remember, you do have slower reinforced times when you got a forward retreat point like this unlocked. So you want to make sure you're actually saving some time. I don't think you really are with this kind of position. You're not saving enough retreat time to make it worthwhile on the reinforce end. So you need to be maybe, you know, about like 30 range further forwards. Alright, we'll see how it pans out. Got a Bofors coming up in the center, which is interesting. Double Raketens though, causing the Jackson some issues. But they have to retreat. Got the flame mortar support rolling in. The base howitzer fire as well. Jackson's all the way out though, so can't assist if the Panzer IV comes back in to guard the center, which is actually just covered in flames. The Allies can't cap up there. Good 6-pounder positioning though. Cromwell back up to full strength as well. And I think this is where the Cromwell could be quite strong, just playing on the edge. Away from the center. Away from all those Axis anti-tank guns. Second anti-tank gun now for Lobo, maybe indicating that he's going to go for the AVRE. Just to strengthen his anti-tank forces. prisoners here getting chopped up. And Rifenade ultimately forcing them away. Pack advancing behind this. Cromwell struggling to get any direct hits with the elevation with the shock blockers. And yeah, it does have pretty weak machine guns compared to most other mediums, so can't really rely on that steady DPS either. E4 threatening to push down here. And the Axis actually securing the far VP as well. Low force though, fast retreats. It's not quite covering the center VP, however. And Allies getting forced all the way back. So far the Jackson positioning, I think, a touch lackluster. Rather, is he going straight for the Jagdtiger? Might be. Double Raketens now lining up. Oh, spotting scopes on the Panzer IV is what's providing the vision. And no brace from Lobo. I don't think he even noticed. That's not good. Bofors didn't really do anything there.
Half-track has arrived.
Like how are you doing its brute best to barrage to save the day, but it's knocked out too fast. Without the brace, it didn't survive for long. Okay, activated force retreats and target them, spending all the munis to try and win this fight with the officer, and it is vetted up with a very nice cover position. These riflemen not quite in light cover here, so they are struggling a touch. Could use the volley fire on the rear echelon. Would have been a decent spot for it here. Now with the rest of the OKW blob arriving, the rear echelon need to get out of there. In fact, with a bit of body blocking, now the rear echelon are in some trouble. They're going down really fast.
We're losing a capture point.
Did not drop the M1919 at least. As they went down to one model. Oh, nearly went down. Refer onto the pack howie, and it's a direct hit. It's decrewed, but there we go, back the other way. The AVR reclaims a scalp. Will be more valuable than a decrew on the pack howie at this stage as well. Really a wipe. Pack howie steal though. Okay, brother, if he gets away with it, that's actually a much bigger deal. Double Raketens in the center, haven't pushed too far forward, so the Scots still quite safe back here. Panzer IV rolling up though. The Ambo goes down. The double AT guns are there from the side. Panzer IV could fall. Got the Jackson there as well. And there it goes. It was a risky maneuver by Stug. Ended up paying the price. AVRE ready to fire again now. Did it go for hammer? Well, coming in. Oh, it's going to be a dead machine gun, 100%. Oh, he cancelled it. Didn't fancy his chances, okay. Did have to swing the turret to face the machine gun, wasn't driving head on towards it. Did delay it a touch. In fact, I think, you know, the AVRE is actually so fast at turning. It's got, might have even been faster just to turn towards instead of just leaving it in place and letting the turret spin around there. Or a combination movement. Though I don't think that really works on the AVRE. Since hold fire and whatnot has been reworked. Or maybe it could. Maybe if you right click on it and while you move, because then the machine gun would be targeting it. I'm not sure. Anyway, here we go. AVRE. Cheeky one through the trees, hoping to catch the OKW blob, but does not. Double Scots now. So I'm not going to go for the priest. Maybe careful with those double Raketens. And now I've got a Jagdtiger for brother. So the Scots have to stay on their toes. Okay, decent work there. Suppression kicks in just before the rifle nade pops off. Trying to crawl in range. Oh, what was the worth of doing that far forwards? Hello? Goes down to some British base howitzer fire, it looks like. The Tiger connects on one of the Scots. Looks like it's going to get away. Brother actually quite low on munitions. Doesn't really have munis to pop off a bunch of flares. AVRE coming in from the side. Again missing though, so Lobo, 2 bad shots from the AVRE after that first green wipe. EP's actually slightly favouring the Axis at this stage as well. Got a sweeper up here taking care of these mines. Do think the door is still open for Lobo down this side of the map with that Cromwell. You know, doesn't even have the Panzer IV to fight against him anymore either. So should be very successful down that flank, but hasn't really pushed down there too much. That 180 tank gun's really been containing him. Good barrage there from the Jagdtiger. Actually got 3 infantry kills. Decent use of smoke from the Allies through the middle though. Got the second anti-tank gun in position now for Stug. Doesn't have any vet on it yet though. And again, brother sneaking down onto the corner VP. Oh, monster shots here. AVRE could actually be in trouble. Oof, misses the next shot. Would that have been death? Might have been. Good Cromwell smoke though. Fast thinking. Oh, this could be a wipe though. This G43 blob is very powerful. Ouch. Oh, there go the Scots. A lot of model drops, but no squad wipes. And bringing in a fresh officer now. It's all the infantry sections dead. Could actually be an okay idea for Lobo to go for a snipe here, just for vision. Just leave it on hold fire, the occasional shots. So he's going for like a no bolster strategy. He's picked up a second Vickers. Oh wow, double LMGs has picked up a bar as well as the M1919 now. It does make, you know, a reasonable amount of sense on infantry company, and it's got the priest now as well. So a lot of artillery for lines. Got a Bofors coming up down this edge. I feel like this is a bit far back to really be effective. Vickers goes down in the middle. AVRE coming in. Cheeky one through the smoke, but somehow didn't get the decrew. I thought that was pretty well targeted. Okay, we've got a priest barrage coming through, but not too much there for the Axis to get hit by it. Double Scots as well, not really finding their mark. Tank grenades? No. And as we just about hit the half-hour mark, you can see both teams over half of their victory points remaining. But if Lions loses squads like that, looks like he just didn't retreat at all. All 5 models standing in the same spot. Just completely forgot about them. Maybe the Axis are about to take control here. They have started to pull ahead. They were down by about 40 not too long ago, and now up by around 100. They Panther out for Stug. Double Scots barraging on the far side. But again, brother finding time to make his way down to this far VP, and I think it's a good idea because there's no Sherman for lines that could really come down here, punish this super hard. The Scots, not as good in those kind of direct fire, chasing down retreating squads along a long retreat path type maneuvers. So this is actually relatively safe for brother. Oh, but that's not. AVRE hiding behind the trees. It's a big Sternpire wipe. Instant rebuild for brother. No, switching over to the walking Stuka. Can still repair off his mechanized truck wherever that is. But could make it awkward. I think he's got popcat for that. And the Sternpires. The Sternpires are pretty expensive. Oh, what we got? The second squad. He had 2 squads of Sternpires? I didn't even notice. Cromwell. Oh, that double pack formation. Oh, that's bad news. One of them was Vess as well. Bring in some base howitzer fire, I think. AVRE rolling up behind this. Slow dodge by the machine gun. And that's gone. And the base howitzer scatters so far. Knocks out the pack. It was the no vet pack. It's not the end of the world. Officer capping in the center. Gives up the cap though. I'm not entirely sure why. Double Scots now switching sides. Oh, brother lost a Fusilier down here to the double Scots. Okay, well, it's not ideal. We do have the walking Stuka, though. Whatever happened to that pack hour is what I'm thinking now. Good bit of damage there by the Jackson AT gun combo. That could be a walking Stuka target. That anti-tank gun does not start the barrage, though. Brother just continuously on low munitions, has been using those officer abilities a lot, and they are pretty expensive, especially the forced retreat. 50 munitions. This is a situation where flares start to become really strong. The Allies have actually pulled all the way back. And they're going to put up a fighting position to cover this VP now, which is an okay choice. Brother doesn't have any mobile tank to really go down there and kill that off. O4's covering this side nicely. AVRE coming around the corner. I don't think we've seen any war speed activation on the AVRE so far. Okay, recon pass coming in from the Major. Here comes the walking Stuka on the double AT guns. And the Bofors. Wow. How'd that one die? Was that to a Werfer? Yes, a Werfer combined with that. So the double rocket artillery knocks out one of the AT guns. Tries to finish it. And does manage to do so. Both shots from the Panther connecting. The Panther's going to skate on out of there. Got a Comet now to replace that Cromwell for Lobo. Much easier to keep that alive against the double AT guns. It's gone for another Bofors back here. I'm not too sure about this. It's not really covering that much. I feel like the Axis don't have a reason to push this far in. Don't need that muni point. It's going to be wasted popcat. T-gun pushed up here with the AP rounds equipped. Playing more support way out the back, actually connecting on these anti-tank guns, forcing them away. That was maybe spotted for by like a recon pass. Yeah, by the assault officer's recon pass. Good use of that. And the Axis do get forced back.
Major here.
Can, of course, come round to this side and kill this with like a Sternpire Shrek or something. There's going to be a Flak Panzer from Stug. Oh, it cancels that. I don't think he needs a Flak Panzer. There's recon sweeps from the officers. Not that important that you need to shoot them down, and hard to shoot down as well, like a sweep instead of a loiter. They did end up rebuilding the Sternpire, brother. AVRE waiting up the cliff for a squad to try push in here. Telemine coming up, but interrupted by the officer. Worth a fire a second shot, I didn't even notice it. Here comes the second walking Stuka. Might be more successful. And is a pretty good one. Doesn't quite get the wipe on either, but pretty effective. There's some base howitzer fire out the back here from the officer, I imagine. Werfer could actually be in trouble. Look at these shells scattering. Is that the priest, actually? 13 kills on the priest. Make that 14. Knocks out the Werfer. 2 vehicles destroyed. What was the other vehicle that got destroyed by the priest? Did go for a third Werfer and I just completely missed it? Or just the 2? The other Werfer drove forwards to the centre of the map. Did the priest kill that one as well with a close ranger? I didn't think so. Okay, some attack rounds. Find the AVRE up the cliff. Is having trouble contesting the centre at the moment. Maybe not the best handling of this Jagdtiger so far. Do think Axis would benefit from some more flare usage. Excuse me. Oh wow, that died. The Raketen actually got a shot off. I thought it would be slightly out of range. Good 1-2 punch there from brother, sniping off one of those Scots. Instant rebuild though from Lions, had plenty of resources actually, close to his pop cap limit. Looks like Lions is maybe using the creeping barrage combo on that priest. British base howitzer fire and is keeping these Axis somewhat contained. All this artillery between the Scot, the priest, the base howitzers.
Jerry has 300 points remaining.
Oh, good predictive AVRE shot, tracking them through the smoke there. Brother couldn't see it coming. And there goes the officer. He was getting some really good value out of that officer as well. That's a shame, and now brother quite light on infantry, goes for instant rebuy on the officer. Strong walking Stuka there. No wipes again though. Oh, 6-pounder goes down. Doesn't look like he's going to hang around for the kill on that, or maybe he's coming back in. Second Panther now for Stug. Wants to kill off that Bofors, but we've got a Firefly in the mix now for Lobo. Flame Morse put out the back as well. Pack's having to get out of there. And manages to recover that 6-pounder before it goes down. A lot of repairs required now for Lobo. A little bit low on unis, and the engineers forced away as well. Double kittens coming around the corner for these Scots. Might need to pop smoke on this one here. There it goes. No attack ground attempts. An Ostheer mortar. Wow. This is an okay smoke platform. I expected at this stage of the game though.
The squad of pioneers has arrived. Has been engaged by the enemy.
That's one of their weapons. Oh, the P-Greens pick it up. Can the OKW officer pick up drop weapons? I can't even remember. I think they probably can. But yeah, the rebind officer is maybe a touch questionable. Officer is a unit that is highly reliant on veterancy. There's a lot of combat strength through vet. No weapon upgrade to lean on. Might have been a better option building some obers, but not a huge deal. Priests getting to work here. Very active British base howitzers. But I still do think Lobo should at some stage push onto this VP. I don't think this has really been touched in maybe about 20 minutes. Completely unguarded, I think. And you know, with these Minsk pocket grind fests, the opportunity is a good one. Oh, there we go. Nice work from the Panther. Gets that final shot through. He might lose the Panther in the process, but you know, it's an unvetted Panther. I'd probably take that trade. Priest coming in. What is this Yak Tiger doing? Yak Tiger, what are you doing? Both the Panthers go down. Comet, though, also manages to fall. Raketin decrewed down the far side. What's this other Raketin doing? Oh, it's going to go down as well. The Bar M1919 combo, brother. Oh, gets out of there. Unreal. So close to getting decrewed. Yeah, not the best Yak Tiger handling. I think one of those Panthers should have survived. Yak Tiger spent a lot of time driving around not shooting during that fight when units were in range. Double Pack's pushing in here, wants to kill off this Bofors. And have the Pyos to try and provide vision.
Emplacement under attack.
Although, again, no brace.
An emplacement has been destroyed.
Bofors goes down. And Lobo has a lot of manpower. There's a lot of room in his army for some units.
We have 200 points now.
Even just another engineer, another capping score. What? Why is the Werfer so far forward in Allied vision? I don't understand what's going on. Another massive throw there from Stug on a Werfer. 3 Werfers dead now. All of them avoidable, I would say, as well. Like the Priest, I think, took like 4 shots at the Werfer before one shell finally connected. That was avoidable. Alright. Well, I'm still behind on victory points at this stage. Rebuild on the Major from Lines, which is, you know, okay. He was making use of those recon planes to help spot for the Priest. It's a good vision tool for the allies as well once it gets vet. Can understand it. Goes for a second Priest though, instead of rebuilding the Jackson. That seems like a massive mistake. Gonna have a Panzer IV out for brother very shortly, and he's not gonna have any anti-tank. Oh, he's still got the Jackson. Okay, but he's going to be mega pop capped. He's going to be in that stage of pop cap where your manpower is almost zero. Once everything's reinforced and crewed. It's hard to sustain. Double stern pyros though, well contained. This is what the Panzer IV can help with. Just about completed. More Scots rotating for the OKW forces. Got a Bofors up in the centre again, maybe a touch too far back to stop the capture.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
But the double AT guns want to push in, they want to knock out the Bofors in the corner. I honestly think they should just ignore this, but there it goes.
The enemy have destroyed a forward
Jag Tiger knocks out a Scot. Fighting position didn't get upgraded with the 50 cals. Gonna go down to the Shreks. Rifleman tickled here by the Jag Tiger, but now with the Panzer IV arriving, decides to get out. He's actually connecting there. Triple pyros, meanwhile, for Stug88. I don't think you need 3 pyros with this strategy since you have the emergency repairs. Boys is running into that Bofors. Close range Priest barrage as well. Pyro goes down. Feels like the Axis is starting to get a little bit overwhelmed. Maybe some fatigue setting in. Some of their actions and reactions are starting to fall off now. Strong walking Stuka hit there though. Thunder grenade out. Officer getting in really far here. Getting some base howitzer fire. And a grenade going to try and knock out the mechanized truck. Yeah, with the priests coming down here. There's the creeping barrage. A lot of damage coming in on those OKW tech trucks. Got a mortar pit now for Lobo. Rebuild on anti-tank gun. He's pretty much out of manpower. Just spending all that. Tiger forced away though. Shrek squad coming in from the sides. No retreat on the Panzer Grenadiers. Could lose both squads here. And I said that this Bofors was too far back, but it's not too far back if the Axis just continuously run into it. Oh man. Alright, well, that was bad from Brother, losing his Fusilier like that. I'll trade that in for a Panzer IV now. Double Panzer IVs, the Allies are actually a little bit light on anti-tank. Could be trouble. Still, I don't think we saw any flare play from Brother. It could really help him with his Jag Tiger utilization. And there we go, Schwer does end up going down before the second Panzer IV completes actually. So the double priests eventually getting some work done. So much artillery, the Allies are overwhelming the Axis through the centre. It's just craters for days. You can see back the other side the Allies not suffering nearly as much. Wants to come in from the side here. We've got a Rakit and a lot of Shreks, the double AT guns as well. Tiger advancing, looking to put some damage onto the Bofors. We've got a Werfer strike now. This could be quite strong. Onto the machine gun.
An emplacement is being attacked.
A good connection. Jag Tiger chipping away at the Bofors. pass coming in there from the Major, I think. Walking Stuka as well. Jagdtiger though missing a lot of shots on the Bofors. A lot of these are like AoE hits. Not getting clean connections. Well, that's a clean connection though. M1 pops both its abilities, but the Jagdtiger's armor is very sturdy. Doesn't take too much damage. Vickers though doing a good job suppressing the OKW Sturmies. And now the hack from Stug forgotten about here. It's going to go down. This pack also forgotten about. Goes down extremely fast to the assault officer, it looked like, largely. Mortar also dead, so Stug losing 3 team weapons in the space of under a minute. Mechanized truck was next on the chopping block. Double Priests eventually taking that down. Rebuilt Schwer, but that could be next. 12 kills, 20 kills. A lot of just Axis units getting caught in the crossfire. You know, the priests targeting these base structures, but just catching the Axis units as they come out of their base, getting a lot of collateral damage done. A little bit reckless there from Lines. I don't know what that Jackson was hoping to do. Maybe kill a walking Stuka or something? I'm not entirely sure. Ooh! Both Sternpos dead. I'm guessing that was a creeping barrage. Panzer IV dies as well. Firefly combining up with the anti-tank gun. Oh, I think that might be a bit too much for the Axis to come back from. Look at their pop caps all of a sudden. Between all of those team weapon losses, now Brother losing Panzer IV, double Sternpio. Kind of feels like that's the beginning of the end for the Axis. They are way behind on army size now. If Lobo branched out and kept this VP, this would be an easy win. Pretty reasonable connection there by the Werfer. In fact, we got double Werfers. Major using a retreat point here. Don't know if that was intentional. Sometimes I accidentally activate that myself.
Keep firing! Let him have it! Incoming rocket grenade!
Trying to repair up this Schwer Panzer headquarters, but it doesn't look like it's going to last too long. Infantry doing alright still. Oh, the Raketten goes down. So I was talking about the collateral damage. Axis troops just coming out of their base, getting slammed by those priests. Here goes the Raketten.
Receiving effective fire!
And looks like that's going to do. One more shell required. Stuka. I can't really understand trying to rebuild the Schwer in the exact same position. It didn't seem like a very good idea. And it turns out it hasn't really been a good idea. Costing the Axis a lot of repair time and a lot of pyros in the process. And again, just making it so easy for the priests to target something. Now we've got the heavy mortar coming in from Lobo as well.
It's ready.
Going for the AVRE, really looking to finish off these last couple Axis squads.
Enemies are swarming one of our emplacements.
Axis now about to tick under 100. Get around the side of this, but needs to assume the Shreks over here. They get forced away. So the Allies hold on to that corner. Werfers not the best, and there we go again. Shred dead, Sternpire's dead. Double priests stacking up the body count. We've got 33 and 19. Heavy mortar also up to 7 now. So we have the Jagdtiger alive, and they've rebuilt the Mechanized truck over on this corner after losing it over here. It's a lot of manpower to be investing into these tech trucks. And next on the chopping block is the battle group. Teammate tries to repair it, but the double priest fire is just too powerful. Misses its shot though. Stuka barrage, but doesn't really hit. Oh, catches the AT gun right with the last rocket. There goes the battle group. Again, I think if Lobo just made one extra squad of sappers, sent them out to cap over here, this game will be over very quickly. But I honestly don't think the Allies have tried to cap this since maybe the like 13-minute mark, if I had to guess. What's that, like 40 plus minutes where not a single unit's come over here. There's nothing guarding this. There's no machine gun, no S-mines even. Nothing at all. This is something you can't afford in Minsk pocket. Especially with the Axis, you know, they've got like no mobile tanks. They've got no mediums or flak panzers or whatever, to light vehicles to shut down capping attempts when going for those corner VPs. Got a Panther, but that's not really gonna kill anything. Jackson rolling up, gets a shot off. Rifleman coming in, looking for an anti-tank grenade. The double Shrek squad's coming around the corner though. Hangs around to kill off. Panther still has to be quite careful. Oh, good grenade though. Shrek's going to continue the way around the corner. Oh, forgot about the Jackson. Takes a big volley. Scott's doing their best, but worth a strike connecting on these two, getting some suppression done. Just on me from the major to break some of that. And then the second Werfer gets the wipe. Well done there by Stug88mm. That was a good move. Good Werfer utilization. Oh, and Lobo in some trouble here with his AT gun, but the Vickers save the day. Walking Stuka's ready to roll. Just trying to push into the center. This is a good situation to use a force retreat. Actually, he doesn't have any munis for it though. Alright, smoke grenade though. Close ranger of the priest. He's out the smoke now. Dodging out to the side with the officer though, still alive. Axis doing a good job contesting these victory points. Captain trying to cap, but the machine gun's working well. There's no Shreks though, they're quite far back. And Stuka shuts down the allies in the middle. Jackson gets a little bit too close. Trading shots with the Panther. Here come the Shreks now. Rifleman just gonna waltz on up to this Panther. Do not get the anti-tank grenade off, but here comes the Werfer strike. Relatively well targeted, and there we go, the second Werfer just about gets the wipes. Shrek's trying to close in on the Jackson. kind of cornering himself. Remember, you do have to get away this direction. Tricks though both miss, I think. All of them missing. And the Panther gets in range for an anti-tank grenade. No, he cancelled it. It was a guaranteed Panther kill. If you just finish that 18-8. AVRE's going to come up this direction now. Lobo pushing all the way forwards here. Flak Panzer now, instead of just branching out one squad to cap on the corner. Just one, please. Jackson in hot pursuit. Oh, I think that Panther might die here. One more. Oh, Jackson misses though. Gives up on building a bunker down here. Oh, but the Firefly from Lobo. Good rotation. This is one area where the Jagdtiger can't operate too effectively. Rattles off some tulip rockets, stunning the Flak Panzer in place. Now that's going to go down as well. The Jagdtiger crushing through everything, trying to get up here. It's a good connection. But even if he gets 2 shots off, that's not going to be enough to knock out the Firefly. He pops the war speed. How did that die? Was it not at full health? Tiger getting some big hits in here. And the Shrek finishes the job. Do the Allies have something to finish this? He's coming in with the AVRE. Gonna look to close the show with that. A direct hit, I think, will just about be enough. Maybe combined with another anti-tank grenade. Can the AVRE dodge this though? The 18As. Oh, it doesn't manage to get it through. Died too early. But the AVRE, I thought that was not close enough to direct to get the kill, but does end up knocking out the Jagdtiger. And yeah, you can see that pop caps after that. Huge lead for the Allies. Looks like the Axis are going to throw in the towel. And there you go. So a pretty even match. You know, we saw lines just way off timing with that anti-air half-track. That was such a bad play. Quite late equipping M1919s. But, you know, in the late game, pretty sound play. Keeping his squads alive. Very strong utilization of the priests, making use of the barrage and the creeping barrage having separate cooldowns. Just knock out all of those tech trucks. Bad idea from Brother rebuilding the Schwer in the exact same spot. Just made it so easy for those priests. And so many units just died as they were running out this way or died trying to repair them up. Cost the Axis the game, I'd say. Would have liked to see Lobo just send one squad out to cap here. This game could have been finished probably a quarter of an hour ago with a tiny bit of harass down here. As I said, there's nothing to punish it from the Axis. They almost never had like a medium tank or a light vehicle to shut down any attacks on the edge. Could have been very strong. But, you know, reasonably sound AVRE usage. That first one, getting a few cheeky ones through the tree lines. A few decent wipes. Brother maybe could have made slightly better utilization of the Jagdtiger. Would like to see some more flare play from the Fusiliers. And Stug. What was he doing with these Werfers? Just driving them into like sight range and losing them. One of them dying to like the 4th shot from the priest back here as well. It cost the Axis a lot of momentum this game. And transitioning into the mass Shreks, which I don't think is a very good idea. You know, you're vulnerable to the AVRE, the double LMG riflemen just shredding the Shreks before they can really do too much. It's not a very sound composition to be working with. Yeah, almost feels, you know, they did okay, but it's too easy to counterplay. Well, anyway, guys, wrap on that. If you like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you off for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.